I've been lying to my family for years and it's just been brought to light. I don't even know where to start. Or why I did it. I'm 21 years old, 22 in a few months. And tonight, my lie has finally come to light. I am not proud of the lie, nor am I going to defend it. I'm a bad person and I deserve whatever happens next. In 2021, I finished college and looked for a course at university, being pushed by friends and family to apply. I live relatively close to one in London, so I could go there and still live at home, which is what I wanted at the time. This was during COVID, and my cousin got trapped at uni for ages, and I didn't want that to happen to me. A few months in, just before by a few weeks Christmas, I get COVID and miss a few days of learning. By the time I got back, I had missed a decent chunk. Decent enough that it started my spiral. Well, I wouldn't even call it a spiral. I'd say it was a slide, or just a straight drop down. I began bunking not long after. Why? I don't know. I was paying to not be there. What's worse? I somehow got through my student money whilst not being a student, and was being financially supported by my parents. We've never had much, but we got by. Yet, every week I'd take money and every day I was in I'd just wander around the outskirts of our town for a few hours and go home. Then it gets worse. I decide I want to genuinely be a real student, so I go to the university. Only, my friend gave me a lift and we spend the whole night drinking. The next morning, I overslept and missed the chance that day to pick up my university ID. No biggie, right? There's always tomorrow. Except I never picked up the ID. I just stayed in my room, not even interacting with my roommates for the entire year. I'd leave for food and to hang out with two people that I happened to know who were in their second years. My second year rolls around and I'm somehow still on the register. So I re-enroll and collect my student money. I had so much gall that I even went back to accommodation and went in for financial talks because the money was legitimately wrong. Had I have been a real student, I would have been entitled to more. I mean, I technically was, but you get the point. Anyway, around this time last year they had a meeting that I didn't bother attending where they basically finally noticed the discrepancy. I am removed off the course, my funding gets killed, but my tenancy was still kept. So I kept living there. Here's where it gets worse. Year 3 rolls around and now I'm barely even pretending to be a student. How can I? Without finance or accommodation, which I forgot to mention had never actually charged my rent, I couldn't pretend to be a student anymore. So I did the only reasonable thing and rented a hotel for a few days with my own money. This wasn't sustainable, though. And I ended up in the awkward situation after a few weeks of having to sleep on the streets every few days because I conveniently had a much shorter schedule this year, with the main focus being my dissertation. So I could work remotely most of the time. That's been what I've been doing since about late September, early October. Until tonight. My mom and sister have birthdays within the next few weeks and my dad has been suspicious for a while. I've noticed him noticing things, like my student finance always being late, or inconsistencies in my schedule. Well, tonight he asked to see my bank record. $5.11. Not enough to buy my sister a game for her Switch or mom her Tia Maria. Not even enough to keep myself fed while I'm at uni. Pooh hits the fan, as you'd expect. I'm writing this, surprisingly calm. I am very disconnected right now and have struggled with depression since secondary school. This isn't an excuse, but finally recognizing this is concerning behavior. But a part of me, a worryingly big part of me, doesn't feel any regret or shame in this. I genuinely don't know what to write now. I am messed up behind belief and I don't know why. I've had a good life. I shouldn't be like this, but I am. I just can't not lie. I'm a mess.